Welcome back to PARANORMASIGHT. Hold on. Let me see if this is working. It seems to be working. We are back. I'm going to play a couple of hours, maybe, of this game. I meant to start a lot earlier, but a certain someone hasn't been responding. So that leaves me a couple of hours today. Hopefully, we get maybe a couple of chapters. Some game. Right. So, I started. I should probably read through my files, shouldn't I? I've done Sato. I didn't get anything else from that. Oh, what else is here? Guess who woke up early for laundry? Me? How do you do? I'm good. How are you, Ori? How's your day so far? How's laundry? I'm trying to decide if I should finish use us. I can't even remember what happened here. Unidentified skeletons. I think this. I have no idea. Actually, let me see our files first. Yes. Man. There's so many files. Birds. I need to collect all those. Just woke up, leaving my blanket in the machine right now. It's nice. How often do you do laundry? It seems like every time you're here, you're doing laundry. I don't do laundry as often as that. Okay, I'll just go do this. Too bad it isn't fully automated machine. It's like semi-automated washing machine. How does that work? You spin it manually? Mr. Yamashina, thank you for agreeing to meet with us on such short notice. I understand you're a busy man. Also, excuse the sniffling, occasional sniffling. I just finished crying. No, I'm just kidding. One for washing, one for. I mean, yeah, that's pretty standard, I would say. Oh, are you hoping for the one machine that I know there are machines that do both washing and drying. I don't know how they work. Seems like it can't do one of the two jobs properly. I feel would be good at it. Not like I have much choice when it's some bigwig from the prefectural police badgering me to do so. So you're Shigi from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, Security Division, was it? Usually twice a week, one on the weekend, one weather thirds. I mean, to be fair, I don't use that much clothing, so that's probably why I can get away with once a week mostly. But sometime only one on the weekend. That is me. And here I thought you were just some housemaid. You sure you're from the police? In that getup? Damn rude. Well, I am primarily a housewife by trade, but that's hardly important right now. You're also known as Unkakudono, I believe. After hearing so many rumors, it's an honor to make your acquaintance. Rumors, hey? Yoshinatsu Yamashina, Unkakudono, whatever that means. Sure, I'll check it out. Born in Taisho period and married. Family first came into business in the Edo period, traveling from town to town selling talismans, miscanthus, reed hoops, and other items to ward off evil spirits. During the Meiji period, This business this business expanded into a trading company. The Yamashina family became prominent contributors to the development of the region. I'll be listening to some game dialogue, so it would take a while. Fair enough. Uh, Born to the heir of the Yamashina family business and the daughter of a noble family, Yoshiatsu grew up in an affluent environment where he received a thorough education tailored to gifted children. Following the end of the war, Yoshiatsu inherited the company assets in his 30s, but was quick to sell off all the shares he owned, using the proceeds to buy and sell real estate and stocks. Smart guy. A practice that made him extremely wealthy. After amassing his fortune, he showed a keen interest in investing in ambitious, ambiguous, ambitious young people, actively mentoring those he took a particular liking to. This approach led to the emergence of many successful businessmen, which includes Shinobu Wakamura. I need to like refresh my memory on who these people are of Kamishima. I think Shinobu is. I'll take a look later. Chia's husband. Those who have received Yamashina's support view him with both gratitude and a sense of awe, bordering on reverence, referring to him as Onkakudano, a title that evokes a figure elevated above the clouds. Yamashina has always shown a strong attachment to wealth, even going so far as to partake in illicit activities such as illegal donations, tax evasion, count me in, insider trading, and media control, all in an effort to garner even more status and money. I would be doing that. In the shadow of the many success stories, enabled by his support, many more of his beneficiaries have fallen into bankruptcy or been arrested, fueling endless unsavory rumors about him to this day. Yamashita himself, however, seems to be unconcerned by these rumors, considering anything that does not directly harm him to be beneath his notice. Even as a lifelong bachelor, he has surrounded himself with many followers, both publicly and privately, and has never lacked for anything to satisfy his personal needs. A few years ago, he began to seriously consider the issue of a successor, driven by his determination that his beloved fortune should never fall into the hands of someone untrustworthy. Perhaps for this reason, he began to develop a keen fascination with immortality around the same time, and is said to be secretly investing vast amounts of money into research on the topic. Teach me about tax evasion. I need it. I hear you've been doing some under the table research into immortality. And so what if I am? Well, now, I wouldn't have expected you to be such a dreamer, but it does make you just a bit more relatable. What's are those scars on her neck? I just noticed it. Are bruises? You can laugh all you want. What's it got to do with the police anyway? It seems on this particular occasion it has quite a bit to do with the police, unfortunately. You don't say. Okay. Where are we? Okay, I was going to look at Shinobu. Was I right? Yes, I was right. Okay, so Shinobu is a disciple, I guess. Student. Hey, there we go. I will be taking that. I kind of want to like 100% the first Paranormasite and also 100% this, but I really don't have much patience when it comes to 100% in games. The splendid gardens all fall within the grounds of Mr. Yamashina's Issei City estate. Part of me wonders why he needs so much space when he doesn't have a family. But I suppose he has an image to maintain. Anything else? Anything else? What do you think about, boy? I'm amazed we were able to get an appointment with him this quickly. Yes, and all thanks to Detective Ide. It would seem he's quite the capable fellow. All right. This is Yoshiatsu Yamashina. He's a tycoon with multiple properties and companies to his name, mostly based here in Ise Shimo. He's long been rumored of being involved in various shady dealings. Special Investigations has had an eye on him for a while now, but they haven't managed to find any concrete evidence so far. It seems he has a knack for pinning the blame on his subordinates before finding a way to slip away. Needless to say, he and the police are quite familiar with each other by this point. Though I don't doubt he has local police chiefs and politicians under his thumb behind the scenes. There's no need for me to get involved in all that. I'll be satisfied as long as I get the information we need from him. Let's talk about this. I'll get straight to the point. I believe you took a mermaid corpse into your possession this morning. What? That corpse is linked to an ongoing case. We came here to ask you to release it to the into police custody. No idea what you're on about. Of course, you will get some. Of course, you will get something in return. We have some information I'm sure you'll find quite profitable in exchange. Like I said, no idea what you're on about. If that's all you came here for, then scram. Oh, pity. I really thought you'd be interested in what we had to share. Assuming you really are interested in immortality. Hmm. Well, I suppose we barely know each other. It's only natural you'd be wary of our intentions. What do you say to a little chat to get to know each other better, Mr. Kudano? He is shook. Think. What does this do? What am I supposed to see here? Will there be jump scares? Probably. After looking into the corpse of the mermaid found earlier this morning, it seems highly likely that it was taken into custody of Mr. Yamashina here. He's quite a big shot around here, with plenty of weight to throw around both politically and financially. Of course, all the local police know him and of his moniker, Unkakudono. We had to get one of the higher-ups to act as intermediary to even get a meeting with him. Personally, I'm happy as long as we get the mermaid corpse back from him. Although I certainly won't complain if he can tell us anything about the curse as well. I hear he's quite the curmudgeon. Curmudgeon? So we'll have to watch our step when dealing with him. Okay. I hear you've been putting quite a bit of effort into training up younger generation recently. What's your take on today's youth? He just starts yapping. Useless, the lot of them. Bunch of pushovers that have let all this new generation's tribe go to their heads. We're the ones who built this country back up after the war, but they're out there strutting around like they own the place, far too big for their britches. My, what a scathing review. Would our resident member of the new generation like to comment at all? Please don't call me that. I hear you've been searching for a successor, though. Given your strong opinions on the matter, I take it that you're struggling? Though I can see why that could lead to a desire for immortality. After all, there's no need to cede your legacy to someone else if you can remain at the reins yourself. That might have been true when I started my research. Oh, I take it that isn't the case now. No, I'm no spring chicken. The thought of living for 100 years like this, ain't exactly appealing anymore. I would. Don't see much point in immortality if I'm already long past my prime. That's fair. Well, that certainly is different from the rumors. My apologies for jumping to conclusions. You have my wholehearted agreement that immortality doesn't necessarily bring happiness, though. Let me clear up one more thing while we're at it. I've already decided on my successor. Huge. Turned out the perfect candidate was right under my nose the entire time. Haven't told them yet, but they're a sharp one. They'll do a fine job. Is that so? I'm glad to hear it. I suppose that would mean that you no longer have any need for immortality then. Hmm. Who said I wasn't still interested? It simply has nothing to do with my successor. I still intend on continuing my research for medical advancements, you understand. Think of it as doing my bit for society. You lot are always quick to assume the worst of whatever I do. How about you mind your own business for a change? Well, there's not much we can say to that. We'll try to be more discerning from now on. Keep talking. Just keep talking to him. I've already chosen my successor. No need to harp on it about it anymore. Already written up my will and passed it off to my lawyer. You be sure to let your friends at the police know too. Yumiko, by the way, you're obviously not just some run-of-the-mill cop. Who are you? Why, I believe I mentioned it when I introduced myself. I'm just a simple housewife. A likely tale. Was that fellow next to you's also got a strange air about him? He's no ordinary person, is he? My, how observant of you. I suppose you could say that, yes? It doesn't take a genius to see it. One of them phony psychic types, are you? Phony? He took that seriously. Haha. Hit a nerve, did I? There are far too many of your kind around here lately. Cozying up to those in power by feeding them a bunch of nonsense. Liars and cheaters, all of you. Aw, he's taking that personally. You seem to have quite the chip on your shoulder about this, Mr. Yamashina. Don't know if it's because of the cult craze going around, but I've seen far too many folks get taken in by that tripe. That Wakamura over on Kameshima's one of them. Talk about a waste of potential. Wakamura? We're gonna talk about Wakamura? Can't say I care much about who you are anymore. You going around with some phony psychic. You going around with some phony psychic tells me all I need to know. How dare you? So though, calm down. He can think what he wants. True, don't react. Be stoic. Oh, Wakamura's here. About mermaids. There's one thing I should warn you about. Eating the flesh of that mermaid you found won't grant you immortality. And what would you know about that? Well, one hears all sorts of things in this day and age. I don't know where it came from, but there seems to be a legend that eating mermaid flesh will grant one immortality. All I wanted to say was that it's just that, a legend. It has no basis in reality at all. How could you be so sure? Just think about it. If that legend were true, wouldn't it be strange that no confirmed immortals have ever been found? Yeah, who's to say they aren't just living in hiding? The legend of Yao Bikuni is passed down in over 100 places across Japan, yet not a single verifiable immortal has, has even been found to show for it. So you mean to say all those legends were fake? Please. If even just one of those tales is true, there's always the chance there's an immortal hiding away somewhere. I see. You really are quite a dreamer, aren't you? I figure we're just trying to bluff me out of that mermaid corpse for some reason or other. But now I'm sure of it, that thing's hiding some sort of secret, isn't it? Something you don't want me to find out. He's a tough one. So you admit you have the mermaid corpse then? Hmm? Oh, don't worry, we assumed as much from the start. If I'm not mistaken, that mermaid was in a sort of mummified state, no? I doubt you'll be eating it as it is. Surely there's no harm in handing it over. So you can hug it for yourself. You won't fool me that easily. You don't think that a rare specimen like that ought to be placed in the care of a proper research institute? I'm saying I'll get a specialist research institute to study it. Problem solved. I suppose so. Come on, man, crack! I'll make sure that mermaid gets studied properly. Don't you worry about that. Ooh, he's not willing to talk about it more. I see, I see. About portrait sketch. By the way, you're quite well connected around these parts, if I'm not mistaken. Hmm. This doesn't have anything to do with what we came here to talk about. But I was wondering if you happen to recognize the person in this sketch. It seems, it seems he lived in the Iseshima area around 6 years ago. Nope, never seen it. I assume you've heard the news about the old human bones found on the seabed. This is a sketch of one of the victims from that case. You sure you have no idea who it could be? Hmm. First I've heard of it, actually. Got no interest in things that have nothing to do with me. Fair, that's why he's rich. Okamura. Who might this Wakamura be? Wakamura is one of my proteges. Is one currently in charge over on Kamishima. Used to have high hopes for that one, but that changed when he came under the thrall of some phony sorcerer in Tokyo. A phony sorcerer in Tokyo? You heard right. Since then, there's been no end to his nonsense. Buying properties out in the mountains, changing company names, all because of something this sorcerer whispered in his ear. He even told me the layout of my house was unlucky and tried to get me to renovate the place. Just recently was going on about some curse causing a big storm. That's sort of rubbish. A storm caused by a curse, you say? Even said the storm 5 years ago was caused by the same curse. He's been trying to wheedle me into helping him find some way to stop it. But I'm done with him and his ramblings. Man's clearly lost cause. He'll be coming over here tomorrow morning, but I'm thinking it's time to have someone else take the reins over on Kameshima. I see. So even though you believe in immortality, you refuse to associate with anything to do with the occult. And you do? I figure someone claiming to be a cop would have more sense than that. How are you meant to solve crimes in criminals can just pull out curses left and right? You won't find me disagreeing there. So what exactly has this Wakamura been saying about this curse? Hell, if I remember, why don't you go to Kamishima and ask the man yourself? Maybe we will. Thank you for the information. Still not gonna talk about mermaids? Is there anything you can tell us about the phony sorcerer this Wakamura is so devoted to? Wakamura went on about how there's some big shot who appeared on television. I've never heard of him. As I said, just ask him yourself. Of course, we'll be sure to do so. Mermaids, please. How about this then? If you agree to give up the mermaid, we'll tell you what we know in return. For someone who doesn't seem to believe in the occult, you seem awfully fixated on this mermaid and immortality. Who suggests to me you've found something you consider quite conclusive. But what are you on about now? Well, I happen to know a bit more about mermaids than most people. Ma'am, are you serious? It's fine. I had the opportunity to do some research into them a while back, you see. You don't say. And? Well, mermaids do indeed have the ability to grant a human immortality. Ha! I knew it. More precisely, individuals granted immortality in this way are known as 800-year immortals. So they have a lifespan of 800 years. That's right. As the name suggests, they gain 800 years of remaining life. During this time, they won't age a day, and even if they die, they'll resurrect immediately. Sounds like a real blessing. Sounds like, Sato was her name? No, I'm afraid it's anything but. One who defies the very laws of nature like that is no longer human. They're an anomalous being that should not be allowed to exist. Oh, that's Yumiko. As such, our position requires that any such individuals we find are dealt with as swiftly as possible. Indeed, this immortality was originally a curse mermaids placed upon humans. A curse. Immortality is neither a blessing nor salvation for the living. It's a curse that robs them of the ability to die. None of those who have become 800-year immortals have found happiness, not one. It renders living among other humans impossible and makes them an outcast from society. Of course, there are a few years at first when life will be tolerable. But after that, every meeting ends in parting. You outlive whomever you love or are loved by. Even if you find acceptance, it will only be for a time. You will always be shunned eventually. You'll experience this over and over for 800 years. 800 years unable to die with loneliness as your constant companion. This is why many see no other recourse than a life of monastic seclusion, just as Yao Bikuni did. I suppose that makes sense. Still, there'll always be those who seek immortality, always have, always will be. You think so? I for one struggle to see the appeal. In any case, there are also certain conditions that must be met for this curse of immortality to be effective. Eating mermaid's flesh alone isn't enough to make you a 100-year immortal. Tell us more. Oh, and what exactly are these conditions? Sorry to disappoint, but I'm not aware of the specifics there myself. What do you mean updated? Mockingbird. Yeah, I got some Mockingbird. What about it? I know in the first game, I'm still missing like 20 of these. Or 10 of these. Half of them. But whatever. Man, my nose is running. But I can say this much at least. The mummy you have in your possession is no mermaid. Ah, bullshit. Ain't no way that's anything other than a mermaid. What I meant to say is that that mummy is a different being from the mermaids who wield this curse. Not all half fish, half human beings are mermaids, you see. In fact, calling them all by the same name is what leads to mishaps like this one. Say what? You mean to tell me that that's not a mermaid, that real mermaids are a completely separate thing? That's right. Which is why I can say with confidence that eating its flesh will make you immortal. Seems like you weren't bluffing after all. Is he gonna believe me? So what is that thing then? There's gotta be some reason you're after it. I imagine that even if you had it dissected and examined, All results would point to it being just a mass of fibers, in other words, nothing more than a man-made fake. There's a very good reason for that, you see. That mummy is merely a corpse of an average human, twisted beyond recognition by the curse of the forsaken fish. What? Another curse? Another curse wielded by mermaids, as it happens. That would be the remains of someone who died under it. It also happens to be the same curse responsible for the mermaids found every few hundred years or so across the country. You see now why would rather you handed the mermaid over to us. The poor soul deserves a proper burial, same as anyone else. Surely even you're not so hard-hearted as to deny them that. Curses this, curses that. It's all a bunch of hokum, if you ask me. That said, the report I got from the Research Institute earlier said exactly the same thing. Oh my, I take it you already had the mermaid dissected then? They said it was likely a fake, but I asked if I wanted them to keep going anyway. I told them to keep at it, but it should be clear now that you have nothing to gain from researching that corpse, least of all information on immortality. Won't you consider handing it over? Of course, we could always take you in on charges of abandonment and desecration of a corpse. Alright, have it your way. I'm so glad you've come around. Thank you for your cooperation. That's it? Oh, mermaids. Hold on. Byakugan. Surely there's something. There's something the sun. There's something hiding here. Nothing. I'll give you the damn mermaid, but in exchange I want you to tell me one thing. What is it? You say there are real mermaids out there. Where are these real mermaids hiding then? I suppose you could call it the eternal world. The eternal world? Yes, mermaids are not creatures of this world, you see. Their original home is Ryugu, the domain of the sea god. Ryugu, then how do you get there? I'm sorry to say that Ryugu's doors are only open to the dead. Going there is impossible for a living human. You could claim anything with a fairy tale like that. It all sounds like hokum. That said, the entrance to Ryugu is said to lie somewhere in the Issei Sea. There have been numerous sightings of mermaids crossing over to this world in the area's long history, which is why Issei Bay has its share of mermaid legends too. Now that you mention it, I have heard one of those stories too. Some old tale about mermaids being found on some long-lost island called Taishima or the like. What? Wait a moment, where did you hear that story? Aha, caught your interest, have I? Looks like this story has some merit to it after all. I was simply surprised, that's all. It's not a name I've come across in any historical records. It's just something I heard from one of those young'uns I have out there looking for mermaids. I see. Sounds like you've got a capable young hand. I don't suppose it would be possible to meet this individual? Nope, not happening. Unless you're willing to spill the beans on everything you know about mermaids, every last bit of info. Maybe, just maybe, I'd consider it then. It's clear you're no ordinary housewife after all. Not interested? Then this meeting is over. I'll hand the corpse over to the police as promised. But don't think I've given up on mermaids or immortality. If they really exist, I'll find them and make them mine. Gahaha. Well, mission successful, at least, right? I gotta remember if she knows about Taishima, or if that's really the first time she's hearing about this. Greetings, strange woman. Greetings, strange woman, back at you. How are you doing, DG? Let's go to Issei City. Date unknown, August 1980X. Afternoon, Issei City, city area. Hey there, you two. Sorry for calling you out here when you're so busy. You need to get some vaccinated for hepatitis A or something? What? You got infected? Whatever you call it? Hepa A? That's no joke, man. That's some serious shit. Oh, going to China, so. When are you going? Look at this man just like traveling. 6 months ago, you were in Europe, and now you're going to China. Take me with you, man. I'm going to disappear permanently. Please don't do that. I figured it'd be best to give you the rundown on our findings as soon as possible. 12 months ago, I was in Europe. It's been a year. Has it been a year? Shit. Time flies. It's no problem. Go ahead. I thought it was like 4 to 6 months ago. You're old now, Izzy. No. Please tell me it ain't so. Byakugan. Try to find stickers and ghosts. No ghost. Is that a ghost? It's not a ghost. I don't see anything. What about this? And what have we here? Oh, this. It's a poster advertising Kamishima. Something about it catch your eye? Anyway, just popped it by to say hi. Goodbye now. Goodbye now. Alright, have a good night, DG. Stream when? No, I was just thinking, surely it would be better to put it somewhere tourists will actually see it. Good point. Maybe they had some posters left over. Nothing? This is one of Issei City's residential districts. Right now, the ground is so hot that the air around it seems to be shimmering. That's it. So what am I doing here? Hold on. Let me go to the washroom real quick. RQ. Hello again. Where's my cursor? Think. A message came in from Detective Ide just as we were about to head to Kameshima, so we stopped by to hear what he had to say. I see. Impressively quick work on his part, to be sure. I just hope he has some good information for us. So, did you manage to meet up with Mr. Yamashina? Yes, thank you again for your help there. It seems he's willing to hand the body over without any fuss. Really? That's great. Still, why would some big shot tycoon go to all that trouble to withhold the body? If everything I've heard is true, you could probably take him in on charges of desecrating a corpse, you know? Or was there something special about the corpse? How observant of you, detective. I can, of course, explain if you'd like to know more. Wait a second, is it related to that secret department of yours? I think I'm better off not knowing if so. Oh, really? I don't mind bringing you into the fold. Man, please stop trying to rope him into helping us. Why is he so scared about the secret? Does he just not want to be involved in something important? I've never met the guy, but I hear he's quite the cranky old geezer. How'd the meeting go? I'll bet he was pretty wary of you being with the police, but he didn't try to pick a fight or anything, did he? Oh well, I'm not sure you could say that it went smoothly, but I don't think we upset him at least. Probably. You don't sound very sure about that. Alright, that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. So we got all hands on deck to go around asking about the sketch you gave me. And we finally found someone who recognized the victim. Oh, that's great news. The person who recognized him was a housewife in her 20s who lived in Kumano 7 years ago. Apparently, the sketch looked like a 19-year-old she knew who left the village to go to the city. So 7 years ago he was 19, no? From the sounds of it, the guy had no relatives to speak of, left the village with nothing but the clothes on his back. He doesn't know what happened to him after that. I see. That would make him a young man with no relatives who left his hometown behind 7 years ago. Did we get a name for our mystery man? Sure did. His name is Kippei Ikoma. Ikoma. Do I know an Ikoma? I do not. Thought I did. That sounds familiar. Kippei Ikoma. No, that sounds so familiar. I looked him up in the residence registry, and it does look like he moved from Kumano to Ise City 7 years ago. But it seems he doesn't live at the place he put as his address anymore. Oh, that's unfortunate. I checked in with the apartment's landlord, and it would seem that about 6 years ago, the landlord has his contract terminated after he failed to both pay his rent and return to his apartment for several months straight. The landlord didn't put out a search request or anything, so that's where the trail ends, I'm afraid. If he went missing 6 years ago, I suppose it wouldn't surprise me if those were his remains. We'll keep looking into Ikoma to see if he was involved in anything that might have led to his murder. Of course, there's always the possibility we've got the wrong guy, so we'll keep asking around just in case. Please do. Just one? Victims' identity is unclear. All victims are male. Each body is thought to have been disposed at different times. The most Recent body dates to about 6 years ago. Facial sketch of this individual obtained using Soto-Curious Shagan ability. Testimonies indicate that the individual in this sketch resembles a youth by the name of Kippei Koma, who went missing 6 years ago. He has no known relatives. The other remains show signs of gradual aging, with the oldest dating back more than 30 years. Although the presence of older remains has also been confirmed, they have completely decayed and it's impossible to tell how old they are. It's unlikely that the bodies could have drifted into the fissure naturally, so it is thought that someone has been discarding them there every few years. Each skeleton shows signs of a clean, precise cut inflicted by a sharp blade. Traces of a curse were also detected from around the severed sections. The victims are believed to have been killed by a curse wielded by someone connected to the Heike. Creepy. The woman we spoke to said the sketch was really accurate. No doubt in her mind it was a coma. Well, that accurate. Well, I'm sure we've got the right person. Still, how did you even make that sketch? There was nothing left on the victim but bones. Well, let's just say it's classified for now. Right. Guess that means I shouldn't pry any further. There's something about Ide that makes me suss him out. Very sussy. Sussy baka. Oh yeah, I also looked into that lady you were asking about, Somikawa. Oh yes, did you find anything? Well, it seems she hasn't registered as a resident, even though she moved here 5 years ago. And nothing came up for Somikawa in the civil registry either. So I'm afraid I don't have anything on who she is or where she came from. Sorry to disappoint. I see. Is that quite common? Happens. It's not unheard of for folks from the countryside to come here for work and just drift on, with no one really knowing who they are. Apparently, it was really common during the post-war growth period. It seems we have quite the mystery woman on our hands. Yep. Well, there's something I've been wondering about. Oh, let's hear it. What? You have some idea on who she might be? Well, have you heard of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster? It was a big maritime disaster that struck 5 years ago. I have, yes. One of the victims of the disaster was an ama diver and housewife from Kamishima by the name of Mare Minakuchi. But it seems her maiden name was Somekawa. So our mystery woman shares a surname with a maritime disaster victim. I'm impressed you managed to dig that up. I was already looking into the Kamishima disaster because of the skeletal remains, so it was a happy coincidence if anything. Oh, so you thought they might be related too. I'm glad it wasn't just me. Anyway, it seems like the bodies of those disaster victims were never found in the end, which got me thinking. Hmm? Wait, are you saying... Yep. I was thinking Mare Minakuchi could have survived the disaster 5 years ago. And you think she then moved to Ichika and started going by her old name of Somikawa again? That's right, what do you think? Seems like a long shot, but maybe? But if that's the case, why would she have stayed in Ichika for 5 whole years without thinking to contact her family? Maybe she lost her memories in the disaster? Right. If she only had her old memories to rely on, it wouldn't be odd if she went back to using her old name. Surely her appearance would still be the same, though. It is difficult to imagine no one recognizing her for 5 whole years. And it's possible she just never ran into anyone she knew. That kind of thing's more likely than you'd think. Oh, speaking of appearances, I found a picture of Mari Minakuchi from a report on the disaster. I haven't met this Somikawa myself, so could you take a look for me and let me know what you think? Let's see. Very close. Oh, this is interesting. What do you think, Soto? Hmm. If she aged 5 years and grown badly gaunt, I can certainly see how this woman might come to resemble Miss Somekawa. It's pretty close. My thoughts exactly. So we agree it's a pretty solid theory. Certainly worth looking into, yes. But if she really is Mari Minakuchi, there's something else that concerns me. Something else? Dude, keep talking. Stop pausing. This is just what I've heard. But it seems like the islanders over on Kameshima think that this Mari Minakuchi was the cause of the disaster 5 years ago. What? Why would they think that? No idea, but it seems like it's pretty much taken for granted by most of the folks over there. Even just mentioning her name is a sort of taboo. So I was thinking it wouldn't be that odd if she felt she couldn't go back to home because of that. Surely not. Seems as good a reason as any why she wouldn't want to come forward anyway. If she really is related to the storm 5 years ago, she's a point of interest regardless of her connection to the skeletal remains. Perhaps it's worth looking into that first. Can I leave talking to Miss Somekawa to you too then? Miss Somekawa? Are we going to talk to her? Come on now. We'll handle that, yes. Anything else? We're done here? I think. So people believe this Mari Minakuchi called forth the curse of raging waves 5 years ago, do they? I didn't expect the curse of raging waves to come up here, of all places. Wait, that's it. I remember now. The sole survivor of Taishiba, his surname was Somekawa. Wait a minute. Is it? Why am I surprised? I should know this, I think. 400 years prior? Okay. Legends say the island was besieged by someone 400 years prior, and the curse of the murdered islanders caused the entire island to sink. Where did you hear that? There was something else about Somekawa, a wooden box? Surely that'd be too much of a coincidence. Well, that's about all I had to report. Thank you, Detective. That was very informative. As for our next move, could we ask you to keep looking into Kippei Ikoma for us? Roger that. We'll see if we can find Somekawa again and hear what she has to say. Wait. Wait. I am confused. Which part am I in? I thought the mummified mermaid was Somekawa, no? Why are we assuming she's still alive? Unfortunately, it looks like our trip to Kamishima will have to wait until tomorrow. So it seems. Oh, you had business on Kamishima too? That was actually our original reason for coming here, yes. But now we've got caught up in all this other troublesome business. So it looks like dealing with that will have to come first. And here I was hoping to get this over with as soon as possible so I could get back to back home to my husband. She really loves her husband. Respect. I see. You sure are devoted to your husband. Oh, very much. Though I do worry as he never eats properly when I'm not around. In any case, please do get in touch if you find anything else of note. Even if it's just something out of the ordinary happening, anything could be of help. Sure, will do. Though you're kind of making me worried something might actually happen now. I'd certainly prefer if it didn't. Anyway, we're counting on you, detective. Why is he so sussy? We're going back here. Damn, it's 11:30 already. Bad news, ma'am. It seems like we're a step too late. Hmm? What do you mean? It seems someone came and took that Samikawa woman out to sea just a few minutes ago. Oh, this is before. So there are multiple mummified mermaids. Mummified human human mermaid human fish mermaids. What? According to the witness, a foreign man came to the port with Miss Somikawa in tow. Then they boarded a motorboat that was moored here and headed out into the bay. It didn't appear to be by force, so we can probably assume they knew each other. A foreign man. Not sure what's going on, but we should probably get a boat and follow just in case. Yes, let's see if... Soda, what's wrong? The spiritual force, it's overwhelming. Oh, my body won't move. What's going on? Oh, it's hers. That girl over there. What is she doing this? You can't withstand this curse. You really are quite strong, mister. Sorry, but I can't let you go any further. I'll have to ask you to leave. Loitos Numa, Guardian Spirit, grant me the wisdom of the Numinous. O high guiding spirit, light my path ahead. Seems like we've been saved. What? They've saved us the effort of searching for them. So it seems. Let's see if this girl can tell us what we want to know. Is there gonna be a minigame? A battle minigame? Holy shit. Who are you? I could ask the same of you. What do you want with Miss Somikawa? So you know who Miss Somikawa is, do you? Maybe. What's it to you? Ma'am, this girl's spirit sense is extremely potent, but she lacks experience. She seems hesitant to employ curses against people. If I have an opening, I can use my curse of binding to restrain her. Usually it's too risky to use on ordinary people, but that shouldn't apply here. Alright, I certainly wouldn't mind getting some information out of her, so this is as good an opportunity as any. I'll see if I can get her to lower her guard. When she wavers, I'll signal for you to use the curse of binding. Sounds like a plan? Sounds like a plan. On your signal. Use Soto Kiryu's curse of binding to restrain your opponent when they let their guard down. Press use curse button to signal him to use it. You only have 3 chances to use the curse. Can I say? Please let me save. Yes. Let's save. Shoot. Shoot. Do I save here? Sure. Compliment? A piece? Question? Can we assume the foreign man who took Miss Somikawa is a friend of yours then? So what if he is? Are you trying to follow him? I have 3 tries. You certainly have remarkable strength for your age. Why, it might even be too much for us. What's with that sudden praise? You're creeping me out. I don't know what the right timing is. No, there's no need to be uptight. How about we stop all this and just talk for a bit? Not happening. You're just going to use the curse the moment I drop my focus. Ah, that's right. Could I just keep questioning? What do you want with Miss Somikawa? I could say the same to you. You just want the relic for yourself, don't you? What? You know about the relic? If you know about the relic, I'm afraid we can't let you get away. get away. I'm the one holding you here. I just keep questioning. If you know... Okay. We'd rather not be heavy-handed about this either. Let's calm down and find some other ways to resolve this. No, it's no good. She's too wary of us. Okay, okay, okay. It seems I'll have to press her further before she'll give us an opening. You certainly have remarkable strength for your age, man. What if I just give up? Alright, alright. We'll hold back. We'll back off and leave you be. How does that sound? You're just trying to get me to drop my guard, aren't you? Not happy. No. If you resist anymore, we'll have you taken in for obstruction of public duties. Wait, you're with the police? Despite appearances, yes, defying us could net you quite a heavy punishment. I see, you must be from the paranormal affairs. Then I definitely can't do what you say. What? You have quite some nerve standing up to us despite knowing where we were from. Don't think you'll get off lightly from this. Threatening me won't get you anywhere. You can't arrest me unless it's an emergency, right? Ooh, there finally. You're also with the paranormal affairs then. Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. I suppose this is trouble with secret departments. Not even their own members recognize each other. What bother? We're both from paranormal affairs, are we? Let's talk. Perhaps there's some ways we can help. I told you, I don't know what you're talking about. It's none of your business anyway. Alright. We'll back off and leave you be, Alice. Damn it. Compliment? Even knowing we're from paranormal affairs, you kept a straight face and hid your ties. I can tell you're both bold and smart. Thanks, I guess. Will you give up now? Sure. One more question? But you need the relic yourself, so you're unwilling to cooperate with us, am I correct? Is that what you think? Can you give up already? Alright, I understand where you're coming from. We won't interfere anymore. Soda, you can stop now. Ma'am? There you go. You grown-ups and your dirty tricks. You did well to be cautious of us, but I'm afraid this is how grown-ups get things done. So, man, I'm confused about the timeline here. Is this after they got back from Kamishima? Or they're just on their way there? I'm confused. Now, will you tell us what you're up to here? Well, I suppose I've slowed you down enough. You'll never catch up to the boat now. Like a sastre, guide my path, and with thy merciful hand uphold me. What? She broke the binding. Bye-bye. Confound it. Stop right there. She looks like she's given us the slip. I doubt we'll be able to catch her now. Still, I'm going to have a word with paranormal affairs about that girl. Win the curse battle. I put in a call to paranormal affairs about our errant young lady just now. I see. I assume she's indeed affiliated with them. Yes, it seems her name is Sirs Lunarlight. She's an exorcist from England who's come here on exchange. Part of her spiritual training, as I understand. The Lunarlight family, I see. Oh, are they well known? I've heard of them, yes. They are a distinguished family of exorcists. Quite an old one, too. It would certainly explain the strength of her spirit sense. Right. In any case, it seems she's in the care of paranormal affairs while she's in Japan. Honestly, I do wish they'd tell us these things in advance. What is she doing here in Mie Prefecture? Well, it seems even Paranormal Affairs isn't sure what she's up to. They've been looking for her. From the sounds of things, she's been skipping her training assignments to travel around Japan, visiting all sorts of spiritual spots instead. Doesn't seem like they're keeping an eye on her at all. Unfortunately not. They asked me to tell her they asked me to tell her to return to Tokyo at once when we next see her. I see, more work for us then. Yes, the things we find ourselves caught up in. You seem to know about Samikawa too. I've got a bad feeling about all this. Shall we try looking for her? I imagine she's still in the area. No, not now. If all that is true, I doubt she'll be looking to cause too much trouble. Besides, I'm sure we'll run into each other again eventually. Well, I think that's enough trouble for one day. Let's call it a day. We'll head for Kamishima first thing in the morning. First thing tomorrow. Understood. Okay. Let's see the timeline. Tamigaura. Okay, we met Somekawa here, and then this is where we were just in. And then this is when we found her. Oh, okay, got it. But then, arriving on Kamishima, I need to know this timeline. But I also kind of want to see this. I'll go Arnav next. After this break, I'll be back. Discovering the mermaids of Lisa Bay, Arnav Barnum. Recollection. Arnav Barnum, a cheerful fantasy author, sets off on a trip to visit the mermaid legends of Ise Bay with his relative Circe Lunarlight as his guide. I I should have enough time for a couple maybe for these two. What is this even? Is this just like racking up my level? Data known August 1980X morning, Kawage Town, Nakabeppo Coast. After much hustle and bustle, we finally managed to make our way to Isabay. Nice. Take it all in now. We're standing on the coast of Nakabeppo in Mie Prefecture's Kawage Town, which means this is the Sea of Issei, the connection to the connection to the eternal world. Oh, amazing! Indeed, it is. Come, sirs. Henceforth begins our grand adventure in search of the legendary mermaids of Issei Bay. Oh, amazing! I just can't stop saying it. Without further ado, my name is Arnav Barnum, an American born fantasy author. Please call me Ivy. Are you talking to me? Who are you introducing yourself to, weirdo? Oh, well, I simply thought a new beginning called for a little dramatic flair. Sure. With that out of the way, perhaps my darling guide can provide some insight into the goings on of this locale. Sure, I've got you covered. Dum, 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 dum. So only when I'm in the housewife's POV do I have the visibility thing. Nothing out of the ordinary. Think. We've come all this way to a distant foreign land seeking mermaids. Of course, I have my own reasons for trying to locate the mythical creatures. But for now, I intend to scour this land in order to learn as much as I can about its lore and legends. But it occurs to me that I never actually explained the particulars of my Ise Bay mermaid excursion to the girl. No matter, it's nothing of consequence really. So I'll just introduce my reasons a bit at a time. But they apparently don't sell well. Poor Abby. A Fiend of Bringit and the Solar Crow. Hermod's Travels and the Bon Appetit, the Phantom Gourmand series. Although grown man, although a grown man, he still has a certain naive boyishness to him, most evident in his passion for romantic tales and appetite for chasing his dreams. However, this also comes with an equivalent amount of immaturity, making him somewhat troublesome to deal with. He believes that most any circumstance he finds himself in will sort itself out, an optimist creed that often sees him casually throwing himself into difficult situations. And he remains impressively unbothered even on those occasions he does find himself in trouble, often managing to slip out of danger with nary a dent in his usual carefree attitude. That that what that he's made it this far unscathed is largely owed to sheer luck, although he remains blissfully unaware of this. He is currently in Japan seeking mermaid flesh, which is believed to grant immortality. His reason is simple: a fascination with the occult, a pursuit he feels is worthy of devoting his entire life to. Indeed, he is primarily driven by his pursuit of romantic ideals. If he finds something suitably inspiring, he will readily risk his life for it, and is willing to change his views just as quickly for the same. Abby's interest in the occult was born when he discovered his great grandmother's vast collection of mysterious occult artifacts in the storage of his family home in America. That's a long sentence. Among them was a mermaid mummy, which yielded a mysterious map when taken apart, a discovery which captivated his imagination that led to his current quest. This great grandmother happened to be a relative of the main Lunar Light family in England. Oh, albeit one who had chosen not to succeed the family estate. After discovering this through independent research into his lineage, Ave made contact with the Lunar Light family and continues to maintain a secret correspondence with them to this day. Also, lineage, I used to pronounce it lineage until I got corrected by my friends collectively. Embarrassingly. So Arnav is kind of like this game's version of Richie, I'm guessing, which I guess that's the only trope that I see carries over to this game from the previous game, is that there's always this grown ass man who is very childish at heart. I don't mind it. They're very fun. They're fun characters. Talk about this place. Kawake Town might be located right next to Mie Prefecture's modern capital, Tsu City. But there's something you have to keep in mind. This was also the birthplace of the Heike, a branch of the Heian period's preeminent Taira clan. If you're going to talk about Ise province, then you absolutely have to mention the Heike. I do have a passing understanding of the topic. The Heike took part in the Genpei War, correct? That's right. That was the war in the Heian period where two great samurai families, the Minamoto and Taira, locked horns and really got into it. Man, what? Man, what are you talking about? You're gonna give me more files that I'm going to read. Among the Heike, Taira no Kiyomori was a particularly famous figure who appears in many creative works concerning the event. His father, Taira no Tadamori, was the one responsible for securing the Heike's high social standing. So Tadamori was Kiyomori's father, right? With names like that, how can anyone hope to keep them straight? True. That's history for you. I'm afraid you just have to memorize them. I suppose you're right about that. Then memorize them I shall. Apparently, Tadamori was born in Tsu City in a place called Ubushina. Ah, so that's why they call this area the birthplace of the Heike. I don't know why my eyes are watery for some reason. I don't know why. Is it because I cried earlier? Surely not. Bones? Not bones. Well, this area is now called Nakabepo. Long ago, it was a region of Ise province known as Betsu. Okay. Records indicate that 3 mermaids were caught. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What about the 3 mermaids? Where's the 3 mermaids? Where did I... Okay, here we go. The 3 mermaids of Taishima. While this information is not recorded in any literature, according to Abi's research, 3 mermaids, Sobai, Nagame, and Hayase, purportedly lived on Taishima, an island said to have sunk about 400 years ago. And now, records indicate the 3 mermaids were caught in a fisherman's net along this coast back in the Heian period. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Let's hear more about those mermaids. They had human heads with the mouths of monkeys and teeth and bodies of a fish. They spoke and even shed tears like humans. That is creepy to imagine. Is it just me? My eyes are hurting. I feel like I'm getting tear gassed. Could these be the fish mermaids you mentioned before, Abby? Indubitably, yes. This must be the place. I'm getting goosebumps. Goosebumps, right? I feel the same. This is so exciting. Betsuho. Oh, that's far. Because I think Kamishima is here, right? I thought Ise was over here. The name is the old name for the area now known as Nakabepo, Kawage Town in the Age District, so named during the events of this story. It has since been merged with Tsu City of Mie Prefecture. Said to have been the territory of Taira no Kiyomori's father, Taira no Tadamori, the area has a deep connection to the Ise Heike. It is also said to be the location where 3 mermaids were caught in a fisherman's net and presented to Taira no Tadamori during Heian period. The endless expanse of the Ise Sea, the eternal world may lie just beyond the horizon. After all, Ise province is the land whither repair the waves from the eternal world. Eternal world is purported to be a perpetual paradise, A separate plane from the world we live in, yes? Could it be that the mermaids hail from such a place? I'm done with that. Let's talk. Let's talk about all the things. This is the metropolitan center of Mie and a locus of historical events. I guess it makes it the perfect place to start a new journey. Can we get back to those mermaids you mentioned? What became of the three that were caught in the fishing nets? At that time, the lord of this area was Taira no Tadamori. You didn't already forget him, did you? Well, the fisherman thought the mermaids were a fascinating find, so he placed two of them into boxes and presented them to Tadamori. Are they dead? Surely they're alive, right? Oh, Lord Tadamori must have been well pleased by that. How could he not be? It was known that eating the flesh of a mermaid grants eternal life. Actually, Tadamori evidently said that they were disturbing and gross and refused to accept them. Gah, what a waste! However, the fisherman cut up the remaining mermaid and ate it himself. All of them? All three of them? Didn't even share? So what happened to him? Well, the fisherman died. Said it was pretty tasty. Well now, tasty, is it? And that's all I've got. That's it. That's all I can find in existing records. And the act of eating a mermaid's flesh alone may not produce any results. I suppose then there may be other requisite conditions, wouldn't you say? Well, considering the sheer number of eyewitnesses reports concerning mermaids, it is odd that there aren't more immortals walking around. There doesn't seem to be any records about what happened to the mermaids that the Damori refused to accept. I suppose it's possible someone in the Heike clan snuck off with them. Now that's a hypothesis I can get behind. I like that idea. Talk about Heike. I've put together an assortment of files concerning the Heike, so feel free to give them a look if you're interested. You have my heartfelt gratitude. First samurai permitted to enter the imperial court. Entering the imperial court meant being granted access to the Tenjonoma chamber where those directly served the emperor performed their official duties. In an era where the warrior class is still considered of low status, a samurai rising to the level of court official was unprecedented. The Isetaira clan went on to extend its influence across various provinces with the vast wealth it gained through trade, with the Song dynasty of China solidifying its foundation. This significant influence was later inherited by his son, Kiyomori. Tadamori was said to have been a man of strong will and perseverance, yet despite the power he amassed in his lifetime, my vision is blurry. He was also said to have been modest and disinclined to indulge in luxuries. Nuke Maru, Tadamori's sword, an heirloom. Oh, yes, I remember this. An heirloom passed down through the Taira clan, originally named Kogarashi. It is said to have become known as Nukemaru when a giant snake emerged from a lake and made to swallow Tadamori whole as he lay resting. At that moment, Kogarashi, which Tadamori had left leaning nearby, slipped from its scabbard of its own accord and drove the snake away. The name Nukemaru derives from the verb nuku, meaning to unsheath, and reflects the word sword's extraordinary acts of slipping from its scabbard on its own to save its owner. Nukemaru was later inherited by Tadamori's son Yorimori, but after the downfall of the Taira clan, it is said to have changed hands several times, and its whereabouts are currently unknown. The mermaids of Betsuo. One time, when Tadamori was visiting Betsuo in Issei province, three creatures with the heads of humans, the lips of monkeys, and the teeth and bodies of fish were caught in the local fishermen's nets. Dubbing these creatures Ningyo, the original Japanese word for mermaids, the fishermen put two of them in a box and had washed up with them and presented them to the Tadamori. However, Tadamori was unnerved by their appearance and refused to accept them. It is said that the remaining mermaid was caught up and eaten by the fisherman who found them to be delicious. Okay, only the one mermaid was eaten then. Understood. Have a nice day. Oh, there's something I should warn you about though. How? This group sometimes gets referred to as Isetaira as well, which might make things a little confusing. I'll go ahead and label it as Heike. Does it really matter? Are they basically the same thing? Not exactly. You see, the term Isetaira refers to the Taira clan as a whole because it originated in Issei. On the other hand, people generally refer to the family within the clan that included Tadamori and Kiyomori as simply the Heike. Their family features prominently in the stories we're interested in. So I'll use Heike most of the time, plus it has a nice ring to it. Either way works for me, so do as you like. The Tale of Heike also used Heike. You're awfully particular about this, but I rather like that kind of fastidiousness. Anyway, after the number of events, the Heike would go on to lose the Battle of Dun Noura and be completely eradicated. Ah, I believe I know this one. Dun Noura is found in Kyushu, is it not? Bingo! The clan was chased out of Kyoto and pushed further and further west until they were eventually wiped out there. It pains me to think that such resplendently glorious clan meeting such an ignominious end. More's the pity. That's why the Heike's resentment is particularly strong, and many remnants of it remain even today. Shrines and monuments have even been erected throughout the island in an attempt to quell that resentment. Ah, and now we reach your particular field of expertise. Because the clan fell from such an exalted position so abruptly, the resentment is exceptionally persistent and quite pervasive. That said, famous places related to people like Taira no Kiyomori are well attended by worshippers, so they're relatively stable. It's the puffed up and pretentious Heike clan members that no one even remembers who caused the most trouble. I seem to recall a number of individuals going so far as to claim that those outside of the Heike clan could not even be considered human. But if that's the case, are we really safe here? You don't think we might find ourselves assailed by these lingering grudges? Much of Ise province is protected by shrines, and the area is suffused with spiritual energy, so we're probably safer here than most places. But that's just the land itself. Objects or people that the resentment has seeped into are a different story altogether. That's somewhat troubling to hear. Well, either way you look at it, this region is still home to many places and things associated with the Heike. Excellent. I believe we've gotten a grasp of the situation at hand. It's time we made our way to the next locale. We're on the clock, after all. Let's get to it. Are we going to... This young lady is a distant relative of mine, the third daughter of the Lunar Light family. The Lunar Lights have been in the business of demonic exorcism in England for several generations now. As such, young Sirs has received education on this rare subject from a young age and is now an apprentice exorcist. In order to continue her training, or more likely simply because of her interest in the area, Thirst has come to Japan to study abroad. Upon hearing such news, I sought to employ her as a guide for this mermaid hunting expedition to Isebei. He is apparently quite fond of the Japanese myths and folktales, and has already explored a number of areas concerned with the occult. Interested in visiting Mie Prefecture at least once during her stay, she immediately agreed to my request. Third daughter of Sierra, Lunar Light, head of the matrilinear Lunar Light family. A long line of exorcists. That's a lot of things. Okay, I'll revisit that close to middle or maybe end of the story. I want to go here though. Can I not? Ano Town. It is almost midnight, so I think. No, I'll finish it until the story chunk. Morning, Ano Town, Kusawa. Kusawa. Well, it would seem that we arrived, and where are we now, sirs? This is an area in Ano Town known as Kusawa. Kusawa is quite famous because of the Yao Bikuni legend. I'd be surprised if there was anyone who hasn't heard of it. I'm sorry to say I've never heard of it. What, really? Come on now, don't act so shocked. You can't expect me to know every little thing, and besides, we're not even from this country. The very reason I requested you to be my guide was so you could teach me about things like this. I guess that's true. Okay, I understand. I'll be counting on your explanations. Ano Town? We're still far from Kamishima. I'm surprised. I thought that the whole story will take place around these areas. Ano Town is located in the Age district, so named during the events of this story. It has since been merged with the two city of Mie Prefecture. Located at the foot of Kyogamine, a mountain with a single 819-meter peak, the land surrounding it is rich in natural splendor and multiple hot springs welling forth from the earth around it. From the Edo period until the Meiji period, it was known for being the primary place of production of tsumoji, a delicate fabric woven in such a way as to be semi-transparent. Fascinating. Fascinating lore. There's gonna be... Oh, see? I knew it. How many have I found? 4 out of 20. That's a lot. Okay. Nothing else. Shrine? What's down there? Some sort of shrine? The shrine is apparently dedicated to Sugawara no Michizane. Should go pay our... Sorry, I just sneezed. We should go pay our respects before we leave. We're not gonna do that. Ah, the fabled beauty of the serene Japanese countryside. It really is charming. Oh yes, the incessant chirruping of locusts combined with unrelenting heat. This is Japanese summer, alright? It's fascinating to think that such a peaceful place could be home to such profound historical events. I'm practically jittering with excitement. I can see that. Let's try to keep a cool head, shall we? Okay. Let's talk to her. Let's think first. If Yao Bikuni really did exist, I wonder what sort of life she led. I can't begin to imagine what it would be like to live for hundreds of years. No, talk to her. The legend of Yao Bikuni originated here in Kusawa, Ano Town. Long, long ago, 17-year-old girl named Osato lived in this village. Let me sit properly so I can speak properly and drink some water. She unknowingly ingested the meat of a mermaid that was served during a village gathering and became immortal. After subsequently being persecuted by other villagers, she became a nun and made a pilgrimage around the entire country. At the end of the year, she eventually returned to this village and lived out the rest of her very long life. That's it. Tales told in other parts of the country play out in almost exactly the same fashion. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yao Bikini, the tale of Yao Bikini, a bhikkhuni, fully ordained Buddhist nun, who acquired pre preternatural longevity after eating the flesh of a mermaid. So how is it that she's the only one? If it's like a village gathering, she's the lucky one. Who prepared the food? Can be found in almost every region of Japan, although the exact details vary greatly between regions. They all share the same fundamental element. A girl who ate mermaid flesh lived for 800 years. Yao Bikini legend passed down in Mia Prefecture as follows. Once upon a time, a beautiful girl named by the name of Osato lived in Kusawa village. One day when Osato was 17, the flesh of a mermaid was served at a village gathering. The other villagers disturbed the other villagers, disturbed at the thought of eating such a strange creature, refused to eat it. But like how do they know? Again, who prepared this food? But Osato unknowingly ate the mermaid's flesh. From that moment on, Osato didn't age a day. Shunned by the other villagers who treated as a monster, she was eventually forced to leave the village. Becoming a nun, Osato traveled the length and breadth of Japan for hundreds of years before eventually returning to Kosawa village, where her long life at last came to an end. She was just wait, for hundreds of years. Okay, I thought she just traveled for a year. The legend of Yaobikari, the girl who ate the flesh of a mermaid and lived 800 years, has been passed down all over Japan. Not only here in Mie Prefecture's Ano town, but in Fukui, Aichi, and Gifu prefectures as well. In total, the story has been found in 121 locations in 28 prefectures throughout the country, or at least that's what certain research has indicated. Doesn't that seem like a lot? Or are there really that many different Yao Bikunis out there? Obviously, not all of the legends can be true, but I actually have a theory on the subject. Would you like to hear it? By all means, you're the expert. Most of the legends refer to a woman who stopped aging and lived for 800 years after consuming the meat of a mermaid. At that point, because others would find it strange that she wasn't getting any older, she wasn't able to live in normal society anymore. I suppose that would be natural. It would explain why she withdrew from the world and became a nun. Exactly. That's how she got the name Yao Bikuni, the 800-year-old Bikuni nun. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm smart. With 800 years on her hand, she could have easily made a pilgrimage around the entire country. Oh, interesting. Buddhist priests are known for trekking throughout the land as a form of ascetic training. And if we consider that 121 locations where the legends was found and 800 years to spare, she could have spent 6 years in each location. 6 years would certainly be enough time for her to make a name for herself in each and every location, right? Yes? Oh ho! Oh my dear, I believe I see what you're getting at. Your theory posits that the story of Yao Bikini that have been passed down in every corner of the country all refers to the exact same individual. Well, it might be a bit much to say that all of them are the same. There may have been few different people, but it's more convincing than the theory that there were 121 people. I also think that the Yao Bikini of Wakasa province is the most likely origin of the legend. I wonder, don't all of the different instances of the story throughout Japan also claim that the particular location as her birth of final rest? All different instances of the story throughout Japan. Interesting. That may be true, but I assume that each of those different places wanted to have a grave of, or some other tangible markers to base their legend on. But would so many people that are purported to have lived for 800 years all die at around the same time? It seems pretty unlikely. But you believe some of the tales were embellished somewhat. That sort of thing happens all the time. Legends are always mixtures of truth and fantasy. Moreover, it doesn't make sense that every single immortal would decide to become a nun. True. There were likely some places that simply believed Yao Bikini was the term for an immortal, rather than a nun. For all we know, she said, "I'ma be a nun of, I'ma be a nun of that. I'ma be none of that," and become an I'ma driver. This guy is great. But all right, dude, you may be my favorite character. I'm getting all my screenshots so far of this game has been him. That's actually pretty insightful. Many legends are based on simple semantic misunderstandings. Now wait just a minute. I I won't stand here and let my dumb joke actually become salient point of discussion. Let's drop it then. But still, if one were to somehow live for 800 years, a person that became immortal after the Kamakura period could still be alive today. True, and if so, I'd love to sit them down for a long chat. Are we done? Are we done here? Think. If Yao Bikini really did exist, I wonder what's so. Okay. We're not done? Can Kusawa's legend of Yao Bikini really be true? There must be falsehoods and fictions mixed into the tale, surely. Who knows? Ise province isn't that far from Wakasa province after all. She may have simply walked there from here from there. The fact that the stories from each different area are so similar does make me wonder if they didn't get mixed together somehow. Ah, you think the legend may be an amalgamation of stories from various locations? Exactly. But then again, the immortal in the story from this location has her own name, which gives the legend a certain verisimilitude. Indeed, it does. Does that mean credibility or something? I guess we can assume that the girl with that name really did live here long ago, and something must have happened to make people believe she became immortal. It's unreasonable. Wait, it's reasonable. It's reasonable to assume her story then got mixed up with various legends of Yao Bikini from around the country before being passed down. Of course, the exact timing of these events is still unclear, and that does present an interesting possibility. She could very well still be living in this village. Wouldn't that be a compelling development? Leave it to an occult writer to think up something like that. That's right. You're seeing the prodigious imaginative power of a fantasy author in action. He's so passionate. Yes, it's really something. Are we not done? Come on now. But the fact of the matter is that almost no traces of Yao Bikini remain in this village. Even her grave, which is referred to as Lady Yao's tomb, has never been located. But then again, we come all this way for nothing? I swear there's gonna be another sticker somewhere. Alright. Finally, another topic. Well, it might not have a direct connection, but there's something one should always consider when discussing Issei. The Tales of Issei, have you heard of it? It's the oldest extant collection of Japanese verse, compiled sometime during the Heian period. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with it. But I've heard of the tale of Genji and the tale of Heike. Is it anything like those? Well, those are also stories written during the Heian period, but that's where the similarities end. Nice try, though. Rumpf. Well, they sound similar enough, anyway. Don't worry, I'm not an expert on the subject either. Basically, this collection of verse elaborates on a number of waka poems by giving account of the events surrounding each one. The entire collection of 125 passages is referred to as the Tales of Issei. It's easy enough to remember, no? The Tales of Issei is a collection of short stories, check. One more thing, the title might be the Tales of Issei, but the content isn't all that focused on the actual area. What's this now? Are they intentionally attempting to confuse and bewilder us? Some believe the title comes from the fact that Passage 69, nice, is set in Issei province. Smart. At any rate, I just thought I should bring it up because it does have at least a slight bearing on the topic at hand. If you're keen to learn more, I'll add more detailed information to the files. Why, thank you. I'll be sure to read through them later. Oh no. He really added it to my files. There is one thing we can learn from the Tales of Issei. Adding the tale of to a book title really classes things up. You should keep it in mind. It was apparently all that rage during the Heian period. Tales of Symphonia? Tales of the Abyss? Couldn't agree more. My next work is certainly going to be the tale of. Well then, I suppose that brings this particular subject to a close. On to the next. No rest for the wicked, I say. Time to tackle the next mermaid myth. Sure. Move. Finally, we're getting closer. This is Kamishima, right? Yeah, I think so. Futamigaura. I just coughed. This is where we meet Somikawa? And here we find our next subject of inquiry. What place might this be, my dear? This is Futamigaura, the coastline that lies beside Futami town. It's just over from Issei City. Then we've finally penetrated the outskirts of Issei City proper. Things are certainly beginning to heat up. I inferred that Issei City was the prefectural capital from the fact that Mie Prefecture was once known as Issei Province. Not bad, eh? Well, I can understand how you would arrive at that conclusion, but the truth is, Mie Prefecture is composed of 4 separate provinces: Issei, Shima, Iga, Ki. Is that so? But that doesn't change the fact that Issei City is regarded as the spiritual capital of Canada, of Japan, making it a very important location. Very interesting. The sun has already begun its steady descent, so perhaps we should pick up the pace a bit. The Tamigaura's sea is famously said to purify the body, So many visitors to Ise Shrine come here as well. The scenic beauty of the location has even been featured in poems from antiquity. It certainly is easy on the eyes. The strands of pine trees along the shore makes for a quite striking image. To make it even better, the embankment we're standing on offers a 360-degree view of Ise Bay. It makes you want to get out on the very edge and to take it all in. It really does. Being surrounded by the bay like this is such an enchanting feeling. What a breathtaking view. Stickers? Stickers? It's gonna be one. I swear there's gonna be one. It's not going to escape me. Nothing? Alright, let's talk. As far as the girl is concerned, I suppose I could be considered a guardian of sorts. Even so, I often find myself caught up in her pace and completely thrown off guard. If anyone should be shaking things up around here, it ought to be me. So, does this place have any legends featuring mermaids? It does. A record called the Kagenki was written by people at Horyuji Temple after the Kamakura period. In that record, there are a total of 6 instances of information concerning mermaids. 6, eh? That's certainly promising. 6 mermaids. One of those entries described a sighting here in Futami, Ise province on April 3rd during the second year of the Enbun era, which should be around 1357. Damn, that far back? So they even noted the exact date, how fortuitous. The passage is as follows. From the sea of Futami in Ise province came Enmeiju, delivering perpetuity. So, what exactly does that mean? My guess is that a mermaid was spotted in the sea by Futami, and it was named Enmeiju, meaning health and long life, because it granted longevity. I've always wondered how old Japanese worked. Because obviously we're all familiar with how Japanese naming sense is by now. But before, I don't know, there's a lot about the Japanese language that I'm interested in. Mostly before kanji went into the picture. I feel like the early Japanese, the old Japanese, is a lot more fascinating. At least the naming sense, I'm always drawn to it somehow. Aha, it granted longevity, did it? It granted longevity, did it? Finally, we're getting to the good stuff. Yes, it's another account relating to mermaids, to Yao Bikini. It seems the idea of mermaids granting immortality had already been established at that time. Indeed, and now we even have a name. Enmeiju. So what sort of mermaid was this, and what became of it? No clue. Again with the vague records, these people write down the appearance of some fantastical creature and then just let it wander off. I haven't personally gone over every bit of research on the matter, but I can speculate on an answer. Records of mermaids in other places also often refer to them by name. In fact, it may not have been all that uncommon for the people in the area to encounter them when these records were written. Let's see if I follow your meaning. The same mermaid would appear repeatedly, leading to people in the area to grow accustomed to it. Am I on the right track? Exactly. I mean, you wouldn't bother giving a name to something you only saw once, after all. But you would think there would be more records if it's only seen once, no? These people may have even come to have a kind of rapport with the mermaids. At the very least, it doesn't appear as though they were trying to capture any mermaids that people didn't want to capture. Then they weren't seeking its flesh. Perhaps there was a way a way obtaining what? Perhaps there was a way obtaining immortality even without the meat. Maybe mermaid meat really was just tasty and nothing more. And if that were the case, then it makes perfect sense that they would view the mermaid as a divine creature. So they treated it as an auspicious being that blessed others with long life. You may be onto something there. We're still not done? She keeps yapping? This makes me think of that theory you mentioned about how there might be two different kinds of mermaids. Oh, you remembered. I stand by my theory. There's the fish mermaid, which looks more like an aquatic monster or beastie. They said they had like the teeth of a fish. I don't see it. What do fish teeth even look like? I don't think. Aren't they like tiny, like little sharp things? And the human mermaids, which resembles a demi-human or nymph. Indeed, that's the simplest way to describe it anyhow. Assuming the mermaid in question had a name, formed relationships with humans, and granted longevity, it stands to reason it was of the human mermaid variety. You have a point. The mermaids we've encountered thus far have all been caught in nets, and appear to be more like fish mermaids. It seems more likely then that the mermaids who grant longevity are actually these human mermaids. Interesting. That in turn would suggest... My word! Would this mean that one could become immortal without eating their flesh? I'm not sure. There are countless legends that reference the need to consume their flesh. But I can't help but feel like there's more to it. The pouting expression of this art style in this game, it's so good. Mhm. You have more to say, I know it. If human mermaids were capable of communicating with us, I'd really like to speak to one. Is she blushing? Agreed. She is blushing. The hell? Speaking of which, this is entirely unrelated, but there's something I've been wondering. Do you mind? What? But our conversation was just getting good. Protest all you like, but I shall ask anyway. On our way here, I noticed a certain something adorning the entrances to everyone's house. What was that? Alright, those are Somin Shorai talismans. Sho means shore eye? Yes, although in most of Japan, they're usually only hung up around the New Year, but here in Ise Toba Shima region, they're traditionally left up all year long. Interesting. I can add more detailed information to the files for you later. She really did add more to my files. This brat. What is it? Do not like the look of that. What? What is it? You're making me antsy. Antsy? I cannot read. What are you looking at? I don't see anything. Come on now, serious. You realize something about those Somin Shorai, didn't you? You must share. No, nothing like that. It just made me think about how close this area is to the eternal world. Is it? What does that mean? You'd already know this from the files, but regarding Shomin Shorai... Okay, fine, I'll read it. Fine, I will read it. Where's it? Shomin Shorai. A type of talisman inscribed with the characters Somin Shorai Shison, meaning descendants of Somin Shorai. This is tongue twister. These talismans come in a variety of forms, ranging from smaller objects such as paper slips, wooden tags, or hexagonal wooden charms, to a large object such as hoops made of entwined miscanthus reeds, or a shimenawa, sacred ropes used for ritual purification. These talismans were generally placed at the doorway of a household as a prayer for sound health and to ward off illness. Many households in Iseshima place Somi Shorei talismans at the entrances of their homes, usually in the form of paper slips or shimenawa. Although most families in Japan only put shimenawa up during the New Year, in Iseshima they are kept up the whole year round, being replaced once a year on New Year's Eve. The words Somin Shorai originated from the name of the central figure in the legend of the same name. Although many versions of the tale exist throughout Japan, the tale as generally told in Iseshima is as follows. Here is the tale. On New Year's Eve, the deity Gozu Tenno set out to court the princess of Ryugu, which is Otohime. However, when night fell, he found that none of the nearby inns had a spare room to offer him, and so he turned to two brothers who lived by the sea for hospitality. The wealthy young brother, Kotan Shorai, turned him away despite him having the means to accommodate him. The elder brother, Somin Shorai, welcomed Gozu Tenno into his home, even though he lived in poverty. Pleased by the simple yet heartfelt reception he had received, Gozu Tenno rewarded this hospitality by sparing only Somin Shorai from a plague that ravaged the area the next year. Ever since, it is said that hanging a wreath of miscanthus reed and a charm declaring oneself to be a descendant of Somin Shorai from one's waist will offer protection from plagues and illness. This tradition has survived to the present day, where such charms are now used as talismans for good health and well-being. Okay. You already know this from the files, but regarding Somin Shorai, its origin goes back to a legend about the deity Gozu Tenno who was courting the princess of Ryugu. Ryugu, you say? That's right, Ryugu is close to this place. In other words, that places it very close to the eternal world. Yes, and furthermore, Gozu Tenno was also the guardian deity of Gion Shoja Temple. The very same Gion Shoja who gets mentioned in our good old friend, The Tale of Heike. I do not recall. I have no recollection of this. So it is. What was it again? From the bells of the Gion Shoja echoes out the impermanence of all things, right? It sounds so cool that even I memorized it. Haven't got a clue what it means though. Yes, that's the one. As for the meaning, you can look it up yourself. Google it. Fine. What you're saying is, Iseshima is a land with deep ties to both Ryugu and the Heike. And that is exactly why the Somin Shorai tradition is so well established here. Ah, that reminds me. Reminds you what? Keep talking. There's something about Ryugu's princess that keeps bothering me as well. She certainly is mysterious. The music stops. That reminds me about Futamigaura. Futamigaura. Dear me, how time flies when listening to your lectures, sirs. The sun has already gone down. I suppose I got carried away, sorry. Well, if that's the result of... If that results in such a lovely view of the sea at night, I'll not complain. You're right. Just look at those stars. Ah, look at them indeed. Stickers? I know there's gonna be stickers somewhere. The starry sky. I can look at it. What the hell? What are those? But look, the heavens are entirely enveloped in a shower of dazzling pinpricks of light. What a sight to behold! Would you happen to see? Would you happen to be versed in constellations, sirs? Well, I've dabbled a bit in astrology, so I guess I know a thing or two. Excellent, do tell. Please don't tell. I'm not interested. Oh, but we really let time get away from us. Look how dark it's gotten. Without the light from the stars above, we'd be lost in pitch darkness. Think. Starry speckles, speckless sky as far as the eyes can see. Not bad at all. That's it. Is there something I need to be looking at? Ooh, constellations. Well, if we consider the constellations you can see in Japan during summer, the first one that comes to mind is the Summer Triangle. It's an easy one to find. Triangle, eh? Then I presume it is made up of three stars. Correct. The Vega, the constellation in the constellation Lyra, Deneb, the constellation Cygnus, and Altair in the constellation Aquila. This trio of bright stars can be observed close to the Milky Way this season. What? I want to see. How do we go about identifying them? Well, first, low in the southwestern portion of the sky, look for a star that glows red, Antares, of the Scorpio constellation. Southwest, you say? From here, that would mean facing inland and looking to the right. Okay, inland and to the right. Try to find a red star low in the sky and point to it. Okay. And why is this relevant? Possibly the most famous of the summer constellation, the Summer Triangle, is formed by connecting Vega in the constellation Lyra, then with the constellation Cygnus, and Altair in the constellation Aquila. Vega and Altair are also said to represent Orihime and Hikoboshi, the two central figures in the Tanabata legend. The romantic imagery of the star-crossed lovers separated by the Milky Way has captivated people's imaginations since time immemorial. How to find the Summer Triangle? The Summer Triangle is visible in the sky almost directly overhead around August. Start by facing southwest and looking low in the sky to find Antares, the bright red heart of the constellation Scorpius. From there, look straight up, and then you should spot Vega near the zenith. Where is Antares? Will I be able to see it? Red, and then all the way up. What? Wait a minute. Star. That's Antares. Wait, I do believe I've found it. The star just there, the reddish tint. It must be Antares, right? Correct. That is indeed Antares, the brightest star in the Scorpio constellation. Haha, I found it all by myself. Why, I'd make quite the celestial cartographer if I do say so myself. I hate to rain on your parade, but you were supposed to be looking for a star in the Summer Triangle, so please try again. I guess that's right. Why not try looking straight up from Antares? I bet you'll find Vega, the sky's zenith. Give it a shot. Oh, that's a different one. Like straight up? Is it not this one? There, that must be it. Bingo, that's Vega, one of the three stars in the Summer Triangle. In Japan, Vega is also called the Orihime Star and is famous for its connection to the Tanabata Star Festival. Then that must be the Hikoboshi. It must mean the Hikoboshi will be on the opposite side of the Milky Way from that one. Exactly right. Can you figure out which one it is? One of the other stars in the Summer Triangle is in the same area, so see if you can find it. So, this is Vega. So it's this is the triangle, right? Then what is this shining yellow one? I'm getting dizzy. That one? That one does stand out, but I'm afraid that's Arcturus from the Boots constellation. Plus, you're looking in the wrong direction. God, how utterly mortifying. Are you that upset? Okay, so Milky Way is this. Opposite side of Orihime is Hikoboshi, which is this. Eureka! I've spotted it. Oh, that's Altair, one of the three stars in the Summer Triangle. Part of Aquila constellation, Altair is also known in Japan as Hikoboshi for its role in the Tanabata Star Festival. Oh, that means I've managed to spot both Orihime and Hikoboshi. It's as if I've drawn the two star-crossed lovers together with my own hand. How overjoyed they must be. Yeah, nice work. I didn't expect you to be such a romantic. There's still another star in the Summer Triangle to find. It might be hard to see because of the angle. Right you are. It certainly is a bit tricky to see something directly above you. I got this. I got this. If my eye is as discerning as I believe it to be, that's the one. Oh, nice. That's Deneb, one of the three stars in the Summer Triangle. Deneb lies within the Milky Way, which earns it the name Milky Way Star. It does indeed appear to be swimming nicely along the starry stream. There, I've located all three stars of the Summer Triangle. How do you like that? He's so good. The clapping of sirs. Good work. Now you've mastered the summer skies. Should I start addressing you as professor? That's me. Feel free to rely on my knowledge. Alright then, tell me, what is another name for the star Hikoboshi? Right there. That's right, well done, Professor. Whew. I mean, nothing to it. Regardless, we've seen all there is to see there in Futamigaura. It even goes so far as to call this a wrap. I think that covers all the mermaid legends for Mia Prefecture. But is there anywhere else here you're keen to visit, sirs? What? We haven't even visited Ise Shrine yet. If you ask me, we've barely scratched the surface. You've got a point there. But it's getting late, so let's save that for tomorrow, shall we? Alright. I think this is the end of this, and then we go. Oh, I guess not. Damn, this is a long one. Mount Asama. Okay. That's a nice view. Wow, talk about a gorgeous view. It's something, isn't it? This is Mount Asama's observation platform. It overlooks Toba City on one side and Issa City on the other. So that's Toba City over there, huh? What's Toba got going for it? Well, the first thing that comes to mind when thinking about Toba is Toba Castle, built in the Sengoku period by none other than the pirate daimyo Lord Kuki, who at the time led the Kuki naval fleet. Oh, that's more exciting than I anticipated. As for the Tobashima area, it's famous for having the highest population of ama divers in Japan. Aha, I knew there'd be something touristy. What a fantastic blend of culture and history. Mount Isama straddles the borders between Ise City and Toba City and is known by its official name of Asamagatake. Part of the Ise Shima National Park, was selected as one of the 100 landscapes of Japan. A listing of famous scenic sites gathered from across the country. Kongoshoji, a temple located on the southern peak of Mount Asama, was built to protect Ise Shrine from the northeast, traditionally regarded as a vulnerable direction. Spiritually vulnerable direction. Perhaps as a result, many worshippers who visit Ise Shrine also make the journey to Kongoshoji. The observatory at the peak of the mountain offers a sweeping view of Toba City and many islets that dot Ise Bay. Cityscape. Over there you can see the city of Toba spread along the coast. By the way, they tend to call this the Ise Shima region, but most of the time the term includes Toba as well. Something to keep in mind. So when I hear Ise Shima, I should also think Toba, eh? Good to know. Although the term Ise Shima is something used to refer to the part of Nansei southern region of Mie Prefecture, the area covered by this term is not clearly defined, with it usually referring to the two major tourist destinations, Ise Shrine and Shima Peninsula, and the surrounding areas. As the area referred to as Ise Shima also includes Toba City, it is also sometimes referred to as the Ise Toba Shima area to avoid confusion. I see. Anyway, stickers? Stickers? No stickers. Apparently Mount Asama's peak sits at 555 meters above sea level, so it's not that high. But as it's situated at the tip of the Shima Peninsula, it offers a magnificent view of Toba Bay's coastline and the outlying islands. Since we stopped by the shrine this morning, I assume we'd take the mountain path. All I can say is this place takes my breath away. You're breathtaking. Nothing else? First of all, you should know that the naval troops in Sengoku period were basically just pirates. Pirates, eh? Yes, they would put together crews of rowdy sailors, arm them to the teeth, and have them patrol a designated area of the sea. They only actually served under their commander as a naval force when there was a battle. So that's what the Navy was like back then. A ragtag bunch of pirates only called on to do their duties in times of need. Exactly. In fact, such forces only came to be called navies during the Edo period, and that was purely a matter of convenience. As for the Kuki Navy, it was one of the pirate bands patrolling the waters of Ise Bay. What am I looking at? A man named Kuki Yoshitaka was its commander, hence the name. He distinguished himself in the service of Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, eventually rising to the position of daimyo of Shima province. That's why they called him the pirate daimyo. He started as a lowly pirate but rose all the way to the top of the chain of command. Did you say Oda Nobunaga? Him I've heard of. He was the demon king of the sixth heaven, no? True, but that's a title he gave himself. Demon king of the sixth heaven. Still, a pirate and a daimyo. What an enchanting combination. That may be, but he wasn't blessed where allies were concerned. It seems he was always butting heads with his relatives. Oh? For one thing, he may have had his nephew Sumitaka assassinated in order to take over the Kuki clan. What? He also fought on the opposite side to his own son Moritaka in the decisive battle of Sekigahara. And in the end, spurred on by his vassals, he committed suicide in Toshijima, the island over there. This one? So while Kuki became daimyo of Shima province, his land was confiscated during his son's rule, and clan fell into decline. Life truly is full of ups and downs. How the mighty do fall. He must have been quite a character. That reminds me, there's another fascinating legend relating to the Kuki clan. Oh, do tell. It's about Kuki Yoshitaka's nephew, Sumitaka. He had an extraordinary beautiful daughter named Princess Hatsune. Hatsune Miku? I dare say I know where this is going. Whenever a legend starts with a beautiful daughter, it inevitably ends with trouble. You're not wrong there. Princess Hatsune was so beautiful that she saw no end of suitors, and her father sought to marry her off to achieve his political ends. Used as a tool again. But the princess already had a lover, so she fought against her father's plan and even ran away several times only to be brought home. I knew it. Alas, that's what life was like for the daughters of powerful figures in those days. While Princess Hatsune lamented her fate, must I be cursed? I'm already yawning. Must I be cursed with such misfortune merely for my beauty? And she didn't stop there. May no beautiful daughter be born to this land again. Such was the curse she left behind before throwing herself down a well. May everyone be ugly henceforth. And so ends the legend. Amazing. Not what I'd call a happy ending. The princess may have had good intentions, but I'm sure no one else felt she was doing them any favors. Good intentions, that isn't how I interpreted it. Well, what's your take on the story then? When when authority figures try to force other people's hands, they bring these things upon themselves. It's just asking to get cursed. Fair enough, I see your point. Still, the princess did take it a bit far. To me, though, it almost feels like that part was tacked on later. As if something thought it would make the story more impactful, and that word of it would travel further if the princess killed herself at the end. Whoa, if you're right, that would change the story completely. There's something else that interests me more. Sumitaka became head of the Kuki clan in 1560, but was so young that Yoshitaka had to be appointed as his guardian. His exact age at the time isn't known, but the common belief is that he was about 8 years old. What the heck? Nothing unusual there. Premature inheritances were a common occurrence in those days. But consider this, when Sumitaka died 24 years later in 1584, he would have been 32 years old. Yes? Even if we suppose that Princess Hatsune was 15, their ages don't quite add up, do they? Age differences weren't so much of a point contention back then, but even so, that is a bit odd. Which begs the question, did Princess Hatsune really exist to begin with? And even if she did, was she really Sumitaka's daughter? Anagate Magatama was unearthed at the place where the princess was supposedly buried. But that could easily have been planted there to lend credibility to the tale. Well, once you start doubting, it's hard not to see lies everywhere. True. And the pursuit of the unknown starts with belief, doesn't it? Well said. A certain occult researcher taught me that one. I'll say. God. Oh my goodness. I'll read that later. She still yaps. Oh, I just realized something. Koki Sumitaka died or was assassinated exactly 400 years ago. Yes? Is that significant? It is. A special spiritual significance is attached to periods of 400 years. For instance, the cycle of death and rebirth supposedly lasts 400 years, and some stories claim that a soul endures for 400 years. Of course, 800-year immortals have twice that lifespan, but as you can see, 400 years is widely considered a good cutoff point. So there's a chance something happens 400 years later. Maybe, In any case, we should probably tread carefully there. It sounds to me as if we're in the right place at the right time. Ama divers. Ama divers have a long history in the Tobashima region. Evidence indicates that free divers have been fishing in the area since ancient times. You don't say. Most notably, it is said that Oben, who once presented an abalone to Yamatohime no Mikoto, was the very first Ama diver. In fact, there is a shrine dedicated to Oben in Kuzaki that is considered a sacred place to Ama divers of the Tobashima region. Is that so? It must have been truly legendary. Moreover, there are several poems in the famous 8th century poetry anthology Manyoshu that depicts an Ama diving in Shima province. Ama divers also appear in dozens of ukiyo-e from the Edo period. Clearly, they were popular theme. It's quite incredible to think that their method of fishing has not only endured for so long, but has been recorded in such exquisite detail. There is another point worth noting. Ama divers have long been likened to mermaids for their skill and grace. You could even argue that the Ama diver culture that is so deeply rooted in this place is interwoven in the region's mermaid legends. Ah yes, there's a theory that mermaids of Ise Bay were simply Ama divers. It does seem likely there's a connection between the two. I wouldn't be surprised if they were the originators of the legend. Perhaps, but I'd be beyond disappointed if that's all there is to it. Alright. By the way, there's another legend surrounding the Ama divers of the Tobashima region regarding something called the Tomokazuki. Tomokazuki. Yes. It is believed that an Ama diver may encounter a copy of herself underwater, who will then offer her an abalone. If she accepts, the Tomokazuki doppelganger will drag her to the bottom of the sea, never to be seen again. Ah, sirs, please don't spring scary stories on me out of nowhere. That's why the Ama divers of this area wear the Seiman and Doman symbols on them while they dive. It's a tradition that has continued right up to the present day. There must be some reason for it beyond pure superstition. Interesting. On another note, the Ama divers of the Tobashima region possessed such exceptional diving skills that in addition to fishing, they also saved people from drowning and fetched objects that had sunk to the seafloor, right up until Meiji era. Well, it sounds as if they were true diving professionals. Exactly. In fact, after the Heike were defeated at Danoura and were lost beneath the waves. Oh, we're back to the Heike already. I wasn't aware there was a connection. Well, after the fateful battle, who do you think they sent to reclaim the legendary sword Kusanagi no Tsurugi from the seafloor? Two Ama divers. Aha! So their lost and found services were being employed even back then, eh? And while they were diving, they came face to face with the vengeful spirit of the drowned Heike. Brr, sirs, please, you're gonna give me nightmares. At least that's what's depicted in the ukiyo-e entitled "In the Western Sea, the diving women encounter the Heike in the depths of the water." Such a deep connection. To think the Heike were once depicted as with Ama divers, they truly were a symbol of Ise-shima region. Yes, but the setting for the ukiyo-e is Danoura, which isn't anywhere near here. Still, it does go to show that Ama divers have held a deep connection to the sea for a very long time. She yaps. And when we're talking about Tobashima region, Ama divers are always going to be key players. True. You ask me, they should be brought up before the pirates. Mind you, the Navy had a crucial role to play too. Right, well, as fascinating as all of this has been, sirs, I'd say it's high time we return to our primary topic of interest here. Oh, and what would that be? Personally, that we've visited Isai Shrine, I'm more or less satisfied. Tut tut. Sirs, you disappoint me. We didn't come here purely to chase legends, did we? And here I was hoping we could move on to buying souvenirs next. You know perfectly well that the true purpose of my voyage is nothing more or less than a treasure hunt. Right. Of course, I'm sure all of this information we've been gathering will come in handy as well. First things first, let's head back to the inn. From there, we can plan our next move. Okay. Oh, there's one more that appeared. Okay. I will continue this hunt part 1. Is this does this mean this and this are parallel in time? Or this time not matter? Anyway, I'll revisit this another time. I'm really exciting to know more, especially from Sato's side. Whatever happened here.